I really love this marketer from New York called Gary Vee because he gets into the social marketing kind of in depth, and it can all still be data driven. He doesn't, but his ethos is basically, I just care where the eyes are. I don't care what platform it is. And these platforms will die off one day, but right now there's eyes on them. So you need to be on them because your customer's on them or your customer's kid is on them. And so research has shown that the number one kind of decision maker in the household for a lot of consumer-based products is the 14-year-old teenage girl. She's driving what the family is doing because she's basically one of the loudest mouths in the house. And so if you're doing a direct-to-consumer brand, if you're not on TikTok trying to get that 14-year-old to get her dad to buy this cool shaving cream, you're losing the game. And you can do, and I take all of the content strategy from him as well, just because his method is simple and quick. So you can make like an hour-long interview, chop that content and make it native to that platform, because each of these platforms is, you have to understand that the algorithm is different. That's why these platforms are successful. And so what content works on one platform isn't necessarily going to be the content that's successful on another. And so you have to spend that time getting someone who can create that content for you, trained on that platform, and know until you're marketing, like, we need a strategy that's specific to the platform. And so what I post on LinkedIn, I do not post on Facebook. These are two different use cases. Like Facebook is mostly Gen X and above. So yes, there are a few millennials checking their friends, whatever, but the people who are actually on there are Gen X and above and a lot of boomers. So I need to have a completely different kind of content there for them than I need to have necessarily on LinkedIn, which is slightly younger, because it's getting more adopted for the older generations, but it needs to be different. And then when I post on Facebook, it's not what needs to be posted on TikTok. It needs to be fast, it needs to be quick, it needs to be fun. And you can learn on TikTok. So there's Uber drivers and DoorDash drivers training people on how to do that on TikTok with quick 30-second to a minute videos. Wow. And so you can watch their content. It's all about, what is something quick that I can distill? What is something fun that I can distill? There's people tutoring math on TikTok because they're doing quick tips, quick problems, quick this. And because people don't have that attention span, but it is for that younger generation.
Right.
And so you need to understand that, one, you can't make one piece of content and expect it to work everywhere. Two, nothing's going to go viral. I'm sorry. Virality happens when it happens. You can try to get viral content, but I would not make that my focus. Three, if you're not willing to make content, then you need to find and pay someone who is willing to make it for you if you're not willing to appear on it. Because if no one knows or can find anything about you, and your competitor's making tons of content and they can find everything about your competitor, you're losing. Exactly. You lose every single time. And I'm like, right now I'm helping a startup that is building a software product for the behavior analyst space. They work with autism centers. And I said, your application is not unique. I don't care if anyone steals your code, because your application is not unique. You can use whatever developer you want. It just needs to be working. Okay. But your marketing, however, your marketing and your brand strategy matters the most, because even if someone rips off this app and tries to do it for you, do it themselves, and you have the better brand strategy, you will succeed. It's one of the reasons why Facebook hasn't yet killed off Snapchat, is because yes, they're putting these features on Instagram, but Snapchat's brand strategy and who their target is, the app works better for that demographic, whereas Instagram, it just hasn't been adopted yet. They're trying to make TikTok like features, but I'm not sure if that younger generation likes the Facebook brand. Exactly. So it's all about brand. And so you have to start creating that brand, create a brand that is useful to people, that people care about and want to see. And so if you are a B2B business, HubSpot actually, I think, has one of the best content branding strategies in the game. But HubSpot, if you're searching for anything marketing related, sales related,
you always
have their users off, you always find them. And that's because all of those areas, you're going to need someone to manage your contacts. And so their content strategy goes with, they make the content, they'll change out the headlines, they'll change out the descriptions, the SERPs that appear in like the search engine positions, they'll change out those. They have an aggressive testing. And so they'll test the headlines, they'll change it, they'll update an article, and it's all content. And so they get people onto their platform. They give them a free version of something. And then if they want to upgrade, which they already have everything on there and everybody's training, I've given you so much education, you're kind of just like, okay, HubSpot, let's go.
Right.
So you want to do that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So it sounds to me is you want to give them a first reason to attract them. It could be entertaining, it could be educational, it could be anything, right? Short, quick. That said, I would like to click through that. Okay.
Right.
And then once you click through that, you wanted to overwhelm them with this abundance of the actual benefits.
Exactly.
I think the HubSpot situation you mentioned about it is, gosh, every marketing related topic, they already have something available for you. Since you're already stepping, I gotta continue inside of that, right? So if that's the mindset, like people can think about how you put a marketing effort. I think there's a marketing effort in the old time versus marketing effort in this overwhelming choices, hyper connected digital world.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, it's just like who knows, like everything can change very fast.
Exactly.
You're gonna lose the game if you don't pay attention.
Well, what Gary Vee's strategy is, and I love his strategy, is like he'll do an interview or he'll do a speech and he'll get those transcribed and written into articles. And so he's giving information, but he's only really doing the content production once himself. He gives it to a team to transcribe and make an article. They cut it down, the video, to put it on the different platforms. They make clips and content, shorter form written content on that. And then they release free like presentations about whatever speech he did. And so he himself, as the business operator, isn't spending that much time, but he's outsourced the chopping and creation after he verified basically the templates that he wanted to use or methods he wanted to use to create it, so the business owner doesn't have to spend that much time on it. And to be honest, people who can cut a video, I was talking to the business owner I'm helping now, and she wanted to hire a video editor. I said, you don't need a video editor. They're going to want to do all of the sophisticated video editing stuff because they have the skills to do so much, but you don't need that at your stage. You want the person who's going to go to video editor on their computer, iCut or InShot, which is a mobile app, chop your video at the time points, put a little headline on it and submit it. That's how I did all of my stuff on LinkedIn when I was really active on LinkedIn, and I was getting tons of views. And it's just because, just make sure you're in good lighting, you're speaking well, and then some intern can chop it up how you want it chopped up. Just take the most time to make the template available so they know exactly what you want. And so you don't have to spend that much time in content creation. And then you can track all of this. I always say track it all. You can put custom URL endings. You can track on-page tracking is like a whole different subject we can talk about to understand what your customer is actually reading on your page. Like, you can make the content, but are they reading all the way down to the bottom? Where are they stopping to read? Are they clicking on anything? Like, this is a whole thing, and you can start with the basics and then grow up.
Christina, I just thought about a new job role for that. You just mentioned that. Okay, I'm gonna inspire you to see whether you like it or not.
Okay.
In the product development, we have something called DevOps. You heard about it?
I've heard of it, yeah.
Yeah, DevOps is they're not the app or API software engineer. They're not like this, but they're the pipeline. They want to make sure your whatever the codes they successfully managed. It's ops, right? Like ops.
Yeah.
So it's an overlapping about the IT, but also ops, because the pipeline also become programmable. Okay, so they have to write a code that automatically push and then manage all the cloud stuff. That's called DevOps. Okay, and I also heard about in the AI, because I had an interview with some AI expert, and he said that what's the best team of the AI now? There's an emerging role called machine learning
DevOps.
Yeah, machine learning ML DevOps. Okay, ML DevOps, ML Ops or something like that. So those type of people merge from the data engineer because they're worried about data, right? But it's ops, making sure the whole pipeline, continues running.
Stays up. Yeah.
So I think you are marketing ops.
Marketing ops.
Right? Like
I never thought of that. Yeah.
You're gonna apport, because why? It's a system now.
Yeah. The
more you think about it, your language, you said that just doing this, do the traditional business processes, not compatible with this system ops idea.
Right.
right?
It's 100% systems.
It's
It's getting the
100%
system of producing that content and
you
checking
are,
it.
Exactly. You are like, hey, I'm a marketing engineer in that sense. You're an engineer, but in the marketing, right?
Right.
I'm an engineer.
I like it.
Yeah. We may find it and then see whether there's somebody already talked about it. But the more I think about it, analytics, but you want to baking into the analytics in this continuous machine. What they lacking is the machine. They don't have a machine like Gary Vee, you mentioned about it. Gary Vee has a machine, right? The system, the machine. So that's why blah, 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 blah. And the machine talks about human and the machine together collaborate.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. You can't tell someone like me just to make your marketing content. It's not going to work.